It's Mark at the UK Board Game Expo 2018. I'm John Manaz, and we are talking about the #1 rated game on the hot list at the moment, Solomon Kane. So, tell us about your game and why it's so good.
Oh man, why it's so hot right now?
Yes.
I mean, I won't lie to you, I think the reception's been manic for the game. The reason I think it's out there and the interest is we've done 50 events with it in France, UK, Netherlands, Belgium, and people are getting their hands on it before the Kickstarter on the 12th of June, and I think although it's a prototype, although everything you see is not completely final, and people are getting a chance to get into the gameplay, and that's caught their imagination. So what we've done is we've got Robert E. Howard, the guy that wrote Conan the Barbarian, he's probably best known for that, but his kind of second most popular character is probably Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane is a 16th century, 16th, 17th century, essentially a Puritan. He's an Englishman. He's very, very driven by faith and his belief, and he's very much about destroying darkness and evil in the world. Like, he's not a deep man, he's not philosophical. He just, if it's demons or if it's people being oppressed, if it's bandits, rules, whatever it is, Solomon Kane is on the case, and that's his kind of divine right he feels to be that guy. So we've got Solomon Kane, and we decided we want to make a cooperative game around him. But I think what's caught everyone's imagination is that instead of just everyone kind of controlling Solomon himself and moving around the board, everyone's actually playing as 4 cardinal virtues. They're basically the pillars of his belief as a Puritan. So we've got prudence, we've got courage, we've got justice, who I know we're quite far away, but hopefully we'll get some pictures. Justice, you know, familiar with the blindfold, with the scales, with the sword. It's something that everyone can kind of recognise. And then we've also got temperance as well. And the idea is that the players, between 1 and 4 players, come together to cooperatively guide Solomon through the short stories that Robert E. Howard wrote.
So it's not like a normal way you're taking control of one character moving around. There's a different feel behind this.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And the thing that makes it insanely different is Solomon Kane as a character is, and as a person, is not aware of everything that's going on around him. So he fights pirates, he fights enemies and necromancers and stuff. What he doesn't realise is that there's this present danger around him all the time. There's evil, there's the holy virtues that are all on a second level.
The greater,
the greater good, exactly. So the players are actually playing almost on the same board, but in a different world. He, whenever the virtues are beside him, can feel their presence, is emboldened by their presence. If courage is beside him, he's more brave, he fights stronger, but he can't actually see.
It makes me almost like the Greek gods where they sit overlooking the map, you get that whole thing and they're controlling the world, but people don't see what they're doing.
But he feels braver for knowing his faith is driving him. But what the virtues have to do, and the players have to do, is eliminate these shadows, these dangerous elements, because these are the encroaching evil that's trying to wear Solomon down. And all the players are responsible for parts of Solomon's belief. We have strength, clarity, compassion, and danger. And if he runs out of strength, he's going to die. If he runs out of clarity, his mind's going to be muddled, he's going to be good to no one. If he runs out of compassion, he's just going to be wild and unruly. He's not going to be able to be just anymore. And you have to manage Solomon's path through these stories, but more than that, you don't follow just the narrative of the story. You follow, it leads you in the same way as if you were reading, but just like a fighting fantasy novel, you then branch. You make decisions that Solomon may not have made. You might do better in how he searched and tracked a hunter. You might slay a pirate instead of talking to them, or vice versa. And that way, in this little demo alone, you go from 1 chapter to a second chapter with 2 options, to a third chapter with 4 options, and 3 potential outcomes. One which matches the book, one which is better, and one that is way worse.
So you have kept this, it's very much focused on the source material. It's people who know the books are going to recognise this instantly.
Absolutely.
They'll love it.
Like, I'll flip this round for a second. I mean, we're not being too clearly at home, but we're taking him to England, France, Germany, and Africa. All the places that Robert E. Howard wrote about. Every short story, there was 15 of them. We're covering them all, but we're very lucky. Whenever we got the license, we showed the first copy of the game to the cabinet who licensed it to us. They loved what we did, and they said, if you want to take it to somewhere new, you can do that. So we're going to take Solomon Kane to, like, America. What would happen if in the 16th century he met Native Americans and had to deal with the things they were terrified of, like skin monsters, Wendigos,
all the sort of things of their mythology.
Spirits, exactly. So we're going to do everything, but we're also going to do some of our own. So if you back the Kickstarter and you sort of get a piece of everything, you're going to have over 32 different acts to play through, and an act is roughly 3 to 4 hours worth of gameplay. You play through, this is a small demo, so in an act you play through about 10 10 chapters, and you'll be able to save the game and come back if you want to do an hour, save after a chapter.
Okay, cool. So you haven't got to do it quite well.
Yeah, exactly. So you can kind of, we're coining the term a little bit, bookmark it, because you really are.
Like the story.
Yeah, exactly. You're very much delving into the story and telling it your way collaboratively.
Well, it's good to know that they had so much confidence in what you'd already done that they were giving you the power to expand upon that. That's a good sign from people who care about their properties.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we're lucky because like our lead designer is Jack Thornton, who worked for White Dwarf for 5 years. He's done a bunch of games for Mantic, like Dungeon Saga and the like. So he's got a lot of experience. And our lead artist, Guillaume, I'm not going to murder his surname because I always get it wrong. I always get it wrong. I'm sorry, Guillaume, if he sees this. He is defining, we think, what Solomon looks like. He's really done more art on Solomon than anyone has ever done before. The other thing
the art style and the image style is amazing, but I mean that's not to be expected. I'll get some decent close-up pictures.
Yeah, it's 35mm scale, so we're very lucky we can do a lot of detail. Every single mini in the game will have scenic bases. Every single one.
So it's not going to be dull. But I mean, so it's nice to have that ground effect. It just adds a bit more to the whole character.
Even if you're not a painter, like, even if you're just playing it for the board game and you just like to have nice minis, you can absolutely just feel where their presence are by their bases.
Like so this one in particular, because you've got the pillars and stuff.
Exactly.
It all fits into
you click on that, and Temperance I love the best. It's hard to show this at home, but she is floating.
Okay,
and she is floating on the jars of balance that she is basically a curator of. I should mention the mechanics just very quickly. It is a cooperative game. I started calling it a little bit collaborative rather than just cooperative, because you don't just decide who's going to go in what order by going player 1, 2, 3, 4. Every round you decide the order. That's cool. You also have a deck of cards that makes each virtue asymmetrical, so they're different from each other, which is alright. But what you also do is have this dice system where you're rolling to max symbols to activate your abilities. But sometimes there's not someone for courage to fight. Courage doesn't always need someone to be bold. Sometimes he has to be smart and take his time. So what does Courage do? She can use her dice and actions to support and donate them to other players. So you actually might have Courage go first in a round to allow the other virtues to do something more powerful. And some of the actions and abilities require that. You need to have that support and planning. But all the while, an AI, darkness and event deck will constantly be working against you, making you remove dice, re-roll dice, lose cards. If you don't keep an eye on Solomon and keep him out of danger, it's going to cascade. The danger level is going to come up, he's going to get surrounded by evil, and it's just going to barrel out of control. So every time you play it, even if you did play the same story over and over, you're going to get a slightly different experience. You're going to have to react to what happens as the AI works. If we get the support we want, hopefully, we are going to put a competitive mode in it as well. So you will have someone with a unique, yet to be revealed, I believe, darkness mini, which instead of a virtue will be darkness himself against the holy players. So you can do one versus many. We're also going to have a solo mode as well. The game as it comes as a core box, you can play solo, but you're basically playing either 1 or 2 virtues yourself. But we want to have a proper solo mode that feels really different from the general game. So if we hit the stretch goal, if we get the backing on the 12th of June, we're going to have Providence, who essentially will be this grand virtue that embodies a little bit of the best of all of them. So you can get into it as if you are Solomon's true guardian angel, true holy guidance, as he's your zealot, your embodiment on earth, destroying evil. And that's it in a nutshell. We're super excited. Like, obviously.
I can tell. I think I am too. It's definitely rubbing off, trust me.
It's worth saying, like, I'm not sure exactly when this goes out. It might have ended, but I'll mention it on Board Game Geek. We have a competition. People can win up to 3.
What's the date at the end of it?
I think it's the 5th of June it finishes.
I'll try, but maybe we'll see.
I'm sorry if it's closed, guys. You'll have to come to the Kickstarter the 12th. We do have an early bird. The first 24 hours we'll be giving an extra scenario and an extra little gorgeous mini from a book called The Right Hand of Doom, where essentially a necromancer who's been sentenced to death cuts off his hand, so the hand dies, and he uses the hand with necromancy to go and seek out his revenge on a guy that basically betrayed him before he is sentenced to his own death. It's a really creepy story, and that's going to be our early bird.
I like that style of story. So it's dark, but
low fantasy, gritty.
Yes,
it's not high fantasy. You don't expect a lot of magic, but expect a lot of demons, ghosts, ghouls. But you're also in Africa. We're going to have lions, anacondas, tribesmen, gorillas, big beasts. So yes, it's very of its time, and I think we're embracing that.
The things in the shadows as opposed to the outer thing.
Exactly.
It's a thing round the corner that you don't see coming.
Absolutely, that's it, Mark, 100%. Yeah, hopefully that gives everyone a bit of a feel. We're going to be running at least another 50 to 60 events in the UK, France, Belgium, the Netherlands. That's not being focused. We'll be at Origins, we'll be at Gen Con as well. But if you don't have a chance to come back out on the 12th of June, that's when we'll be launching it, and we're very hopeful.
Well, that's been great. I'm looking for the 12th of June. Keep it on your diary, because I will be. This has been Solomon Kane.
Thanks so much.
Thanks very much, Mark.